The New York Yankees absolutely loved what Anthony Volpe was bringing to the table on offense in the MLB playoffs. And on top of that, veteran new Yankee Paul Goldschmidt has said that he is open to mentoring Ben Rice and helping him get better in any way possible, as Goldschmidt hopes to help Rice become the Yankees' long-term first baseman. And this has huge implications on the New York Yankees' future. So we're going to break it all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Yankees Digest. It's Chris here. And if you guys like the content, make sure to subscribe. 13.5% of viewers watching right now are subscribed. Let's get those numbers up. But also, let's jump into this and talk about baseball. That is what we're here to do. Starting with Anthony Volpe. I mean, the man was drafted in the first round by the New York Yankees over Gunnar Henderson, and I don't think any Yankee fan is really going to forget that anytime soon. But Volpe has been still a good player in his own right. The hitting has been very inconsistent. At times, he looks like the second coming of Derek Jeter, while at other points, he looks like he can't hit an absolute volleyball or yoga ball even. However, he got it together very well in the playoffs, and Aaron Boone and the rest of the New York Yankees had much more faith in him after that than they did prior. Now, it's not like Volpe was in danger of losing his job, as we all know, with the New York Yankees as their starting shortstop, but the Yankees truly believe that Anthony Volpe is on the road to becoming a major player for the team, both on offense and defense. Him becoming a Gold Glover was a surprise, and it's been a very welcomed surprise about him. Volpe's a very great fielder. He's a Gold Glover now, and there was fear that his fielding would never be good enough for him to be a shortstop and that he'd end up having to move to third base and Oswald Peraza would have to come in and be the shortstop because of the fears of Volpe's fielding. Well, that's been completely erased. He's an awesome fielder. It's just about finding a consistent bat, and if he could do that, he's really going to be an incredible player for the New York Yankees for many years moving forwards, especially only being in his second MLB or finishing up his second MLB season recently. He's super young. He has so much time to break out, and this season upcoming is when we're hoping that Anthony Volpe will have that hitting down consistently, as it just makes him a perfect guy to lead off for the New York Yankees and just be a huge weapon for this team. Now, looking at Anthony Volpe's numbers, and we're going to make this a little bit bigger for y'all, it was mentioned that while his bat speed only improved by a little bit in October in the playoffs, he enjoyed huge gains in other metrics. I mean, his batting average went up to 332 from 238, which is a massive jump. His exit velocity went up to 95.8 to the 87.7 it was at. His hard hit percentage went to 53% after being 35% in the regular season. The way he squared up, that squared up percentage is now at 47% in the postseason after 26% in the regular season. All these jumps are massive. And I mean, continuing down the line, it's that case. Line drive percentage went up 20%. And I mean, it was at 20% to start, which is insane to think about. The pull percentage went up a little bit. The ground ball percentage dropped 20% after being a 50% ground ball hitter. The soft the soft contact went down to 0% in the postseason after being at 16 in the regular season. And his base on ball percentage, his walk percentage went from 6.1% to 16.9%. Anthony Volpe figured it out in the playoffs, and Aaron Boone was absolutely thrilled with this. Now, looking at what Aaron Boone had to say on it, the week off leading into the postseason, the little adjustments I saw, it was like, boom! It leapt off the screen. That's it. That's it right there. I haven't seen the bat tracking, but I'm not surprised because I know what I was watching every single day. And that's what we want. When you see it, yes! Which is just the most Aaron Boone way of quoting something ever in his own right. Now, he also mentioned that he thinks the different adjustments and things that Volpe's done are going to serve him well in the end, and we're going to look up several seasons, and we're going to see a really good offensive player. Boone's really confident that what he saw from him in the final weeks of the season and certainly into the postseason is absolutely something that will hopefully carry over when he becomes more and more of a consistent offensive player. Does it manifest itself in more average? Is there more power? I don't know, said Aaron Boone. But I think we're going to see a very good offensive player when it's all said and done. Now, if Anthony Volpe becomes just a helpful offensive player, a good offensive player, it just changes so much for the Yankees' future. They have their shortstop for the next 10 years, if Anthony Volpe can hold it down. I mean, the fielding is great. We've said it already. The hitting, it's good when it's good. It's just the inconsistency is the problem. If Volpe can get that consistent bat down, he's got a lot of power for a shortstop, and the contact was going through the roof. It really does change everything about the way that Anthony Volpe plays baseball. And if we get a consistent Volpe, he is going to be kicking that all-star door down. Now, Volpe last season, in 638 at-bats, he had 155 hits, leading to a 243 batting average. He had 60 RBIs, 90 runs scored, very good base runner, stole 28 bases last season. The OPS was below average. Average OPS is a 750. He had a 657. OPS plus average is 100. He had an 86. That OPS plus number did go up from his career average of last season's, but the OPS did go down a tiny bit, but nothing really concerned when it's .04 or 0.004, I should say. Look, Anthony Volpe, I also just, I almost thought I did the math wrong. I didn't. I'm terrible at math. But Anthony Volpe, absolutely phenomenal player when he's good, and I do think we're going to see him. When you see these hints like this, it usually means that player is going to break out in due time, and he's young, he's got time, and I do think we're going to see a very good Anthony Volpe very, very soon on both sides of the baseball. Now, also talking about Paul Goldschmidt, who recently signed with the New York Yankees. He was asked about mentoring a young player like Ben Rice, for example, and he said, "I'll do whatever I can to help guys." He noted that he had plenty of veterans to help him as a younger player, and now that he's the veteran, now that he's the 37-year-old former MVP that we all know and love, he is willing to take on that role now. Ben Rice had a very interesting season with the New York Yankees, and it really threw a lot of us for a loop with him, because Rice, he had that game where he hit 3 home runs. He looked like he was the answer at first base for the foreseeable future. Then he just couldn't hit the ball after that game. It felt like that was the breakout coming out party of Ben Rice, and instead it was the, whoa, Ben Rice hit 3 home runs in a game. I wonder if he's going to be good after that. And the answer was just an absolute no. However, Ben Rice was a rookie. He's got time to figure it out, and he also was a catcher, so there's a lot of thought that he'll probably do a mix of first base and catcher this year. In Goldie's off days, he'll probably be playing first base a bit, and also DJ LeMahieu could be there. In Austin Wells' off days, we'll see Ben Rice probably behind home plate, which will be interesting to see how he fares there. After only being a first baseman in the MLB, it's very interesting to see what'll happen there with Ben Rice. Obviously, he's a good enough hitter probably to be a catcher. The question if he's a good enough hitter to be a first baseman is really the one that's out there, and Paul Goldschmidt wants to help out in any way he can, which is absolutely huge. I mean, Ben Rice last season only had 152 at-bats. He had 7 home runs. As we know, 3 of them were in the same game with a horrific batting average of 171. The OPS was a 613, which is much better than what a 171 batting average would look like. 264 on base percentage, 349 slugging percentage. Ben Rice did not have a good season last year, but he's a lefty bat that could be very helpful for the New York Yankees. And on top of that, for Ben Rice, getting a guy like Paul Goldschmidt there to help walk him through it, and Goldschmidt was a phenomenal hitter, especially that MVP season a few years back. It would make sense if Ben Rice can go out there and just completely ball the hell out. And I'd love to see it. I mean, he seems like a likable dude. He's on the Yankees already, so they don't have to go out and find someone more expensive. It's a matter to see how Paul Goldschmidt's mentoring can work, and also there will be other guys that he's going to be willing to mentor. It's not just going to be Ben Rice, but Ben Rice should be his main target for Goldschmidt to mentor. Obviously, Goldschmidt is not a long-time option for the New York Yankees. The former MVP, Silver Slugger, Gold Glover, and All-Star. I mean, last season, complete drop-off. Career average of 892 OPS, and it was a 716 this year, also a below-average OPS plus. It's not that he had the worst year in the world or anything, but he's clearly not Paul Goldschmidt anymore. Given on a contending team, we have seen former MVPs and just former great hitters be able to find their bat once again as they're batting for something that matters, and it could be for the last season that they're able to bat for something that truly matters like this in a consistent role. So we'll see what Goldie's got left in the tank. We'll see if he could be a great mentor for this New York Yankees team, for Ben Rice specifically, who could use the help. And the more I talk about this, the more I get excited about the MLB season. I know we're still a ways away. However, we are in the calendar year of the next MLB season. I cannot wait for the season to begin, to get back to some Yankee games. Go watch these in person, on TV, whatever. I'm really looking forward to it, and I do want to know what you guys think down below. Do you like the idea of Goldschmidt mentoring Ben Rice? Do you think Ben Rice is a future at either catcher with Austin Wells? Is Ben Rice kind of his backup and potentially playing first base sometimes? Do you not like the idea of Ben Rice? What do you think about Anthony Volpe? Is he going to have that breakout year next season? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Yankees.